Hey everyone, have you ever thought about a constitution like a user manual for being a citizen? Because that's kind of what it is. Today, we're going to flip open the playbook for Georgia and really dig into this incredible balance between our rights and our responsibilities. Okay, let's just dive right in.
So let me just ask you, straight up, do you really know your rights? And just as important, do you know your responsibilities? It's a huge question, right? It really gets to the heart of what it means to be an active citizen, and that's exactly what we're going to break down together.
Okay, so our main guide for all of this is the Bill of Rights. But what's really fascinating is that we actually have two of them to look at. You've got the one in the U.S. Constitution, of course, but then there's another one right here in the Georgia Constitution. And these two documents, they pretty much lay the foundation for everything we're about to talk about.
All right, first up, let's start with the stuff we all share, the common ground. These are those big, fundamental freedoms that kind of unite all of us, whether you're thinking nationally or right here in the Peach State.
So, if you take a look here, it's pretty clear, right? The big three are in both playbooks. You've got freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of the press. I mean, these are the absolute bedrock principles of American democracy, and they're guaranteed at both the federal and state level. Now, this shared foundation is super important, but as you're about to see, Georgia's playbook has some, let's just say, unique pages of its own.
Okay, now here's where things get really interesting. Because Georgia's playbook, it adds some very specific, kind of unique pages. We're talking about rights that are written right into Georgia's Constitution that you won't find them in the U.S. Bill of Rights.
Check this out. The thing that's so wild about this is the language. It's not vague or abstract at all. It is incredibly direct. You know, the U.S. Constitution talks about prohibiting cruel and unusual punishments, which is important. But Georgia's Constitution gets super specific. It explicitly calls out banishment and whipping. That is a powerful statement to make.
And there's more. Here are some of the other unique protections you get in Georgia. First, it explicitly guarantees life, liberty, and property. Then you have freedom of conscience, which is kind of like a more personal take on freedom of religion. And this last one, it really reflects the state's deep-rooted outdoor culture. It specifically protects fishing and hunting as a right for the people. Pretty cool, huh?
Okay, so we've spent a good amount of time on the rights part, which is awesome. But that's only half of the equation, right? To really be an active citizen, you have to look at the other side of the coin, and that's our responsibilities.
This right here, this gets to the absolute heart of it. Think about it. Citizenship isn't a spectator sport. It's not passive. It's a two-way street. All those freedoms we enjoy, they stay protected and they're maintained because we as citizens actually participate and contribute back to the system. That's the whole powerful idea behind civic duty.
So, when we talk about these responsibilities, they basically fall into two buckets. On one side, you've got the mandatory stuff, the things the law actually requires you to do. We're talking about paying taxes to keep things running and serving on juries to make sure trials are fair. Then, on the other side, you have the voluntary duties, things like voting and volunteering. These are the choices we make to help shape and improve our own communities.
Let's zoom in on jury duty for a sec. When you get that summons and you serve on a jury, you are literally participating directly in our justice system. It's one of the most direct and honestly essential things a citizen can do. You're making sure that a verdict is decided by a group of regular people, by your peers.
And then, of course, there's volunteering. This one's all about choosing to give your time, your skills, whatever you've got for free. No paycheck, you're just helping others or supporting a cause you really believe in. And yeah, it's a choice, it's voluntary, but man, is it absolutely vital for the health and the whole spirit of our communities. All right, let's tie this all together now. We've looked at the rights we're guaranteed, and we've looked at the responsibilities we're expected to fulfill. So, what's the big takeaway here? What does it all mean?
At the end of the day, it all comes down to one word: balance. It's a trade-off. Enjoying your right to free speech, that comes with the responsibility to actually engage in respectful debate. Getting the benefit of a fair justice system, well, that comes with the duty to show up for jury service when you're called. A healthy democracy really truly depends on every single one of us participating in this balance.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. Now that you know your playbook a little better, both your rights and your responsibilities, how are you going to put it into action? What's one thing you can do this week? Just something to think about. Thanks so much for tuning in.